All right. Well, Oscar season, mate, is well and truly over. It was the 93rd Oscars.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. They've done a lot of them now, haven't they?
I mean, who's keeping count?
Exactly. And I think this is like the second year in a row that we haven't had a host. So we've had a couple of
Oscars
hosts.
are just like...
Yeah, exactly. You've won an award, and as Ricky Gervais says, yeah, now piss off kind of thing.
Yeah.
He says it in a different way, but we won't go into all of that. Now, predicted winners, Dongy. We didn't get it right, did we? We got some things
we
right.
Got some right. We got at least half of it right.
We did okay.
Which is a pass in our schooling system.
Yeah, hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Now, films with multiple Oscar winners for 2020, just recapping. Parasite with 4 wins, 1917 with 3, Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood all had 2. So that's pretty expected.
That could be it, and that feels like a fair representation of the
good
quality
spread.
of film. Yeah,
It's a good spread. Good spread.
Yeah, it shows the quality of the films that were there as well, because it was a very good year.
I agree. Time's gone by. Sometimes films go home with 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So that kind of shows you it's closer than what we thought.
Yeah.
Well, close because
But it was a
the
good
quality
year
was
of
good.
film as well.
Yeah.
Last year was a lower quality year. I think it was
right.
either. I think it was a toss up between The Green Book and Roma.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just like, I saw The Green Book. I thought it was fine, but I was just like, it's not Best Picture, buddy.
I know. And then year before it was like Moonlight and La La Land, wasn't
No,
it?
that
They
was
were like the
2016.
two. That was a couple more years before.
No, that was actually a good year.
That
I thought La La Land got snubbed, which they did.
they did get snubbed.
They
They
literally
did.
got snubbed on the podium. I saw Moonlight.
Warren Beatty was surprised too, man.
Yeah. I saw Moonlight, and I was just like, it's good. Like, it's good, but it's not like it just ends. I don't feel satisfied.
Exactly. You wouldn't say La La Land just ends though. It had a funny ending. La La
No, it's
Land.
kind of like a fantasy kind of ending.
It is a
which
fantasy
I like.
ending. You know, it's kind of
it also has
leaves
white
that
people in
bit
it,
of
so
That's true. There's a lot of it. Oh my god.
as a joke,
That was a joke. It's a joke. Don't take it serious. It's just a joke. Just a joke.
it's gonna bite me in 20 years.
All right. Best picture. Best picture, man. We both said 1917 was going to win it.
Yeah, which was my pick.
It was
your pick.
spectacular to like look at, like aesthetically. Wow. Ooh.
I just thought the whole experience and the whole set design and everything, and just the bloody grant. It's like a
Race.
What
Your
was
heart's
it?
just.
what does it feel like? It feels like, I think shooting the film would feel like going to play
Big
your
time.
favorite sport
Oh,
or whatever.
gosh.
It's like this is the pros playing football, you know. It's like a gladiatorial event.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we got to get everything right
Oh, yeah.
in this 8 to 10 minute take, 6 to 8 10 minute take.
No pressure.
Or
No pressure.
we're gonna take the L on the millions of dollars we just lost on that take and go again.
And go again. Exactly. Which I think they had to do a few times.
Yeah, and it's
No Rolex watches though this time around. You know, historically pretty accurate. And there were just moments in this film that were just beautiful. You know, like just just breathtaking. And it's just finger on the pulse the whole time.
Well, yeah, we'll get into who won the cinematography. So Roger Deakins,
Yeah,
that shot,
deserve this.
that shot in the ruined city, ruined town,
Love it.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's
He's,
so
he's,
eerie.
he's getting choked up here, guys. I mean, he's.
so eerie.
It is eerie.
It's like
Wow, it's just that kind of that glow of the fire burning and dark
you get,
blue sky.
and you get like, you know, that there are a few German soldiers trying to
present, yes.
shoot present, but
One's
you don't know
drunk as all.
you don't know how many there are. Well, you have an idea how many there are, but you don't know how many there actually are. You don't know where they are, and that whole aesthetic is just.
And how about that music as well?
Yeah.
When he's walking there, it's just like this huge reveal. You're like, whoa, it's amazing. It's an amazing scene. And you know what's crazy? I follow Universal Pictures on Instagram, and they showed how they filmed that scene, and it's filmed during the daytime. So they must have green screened the background to make it look like it was nighttime.
I would have. So I think the flares were really bright, and they just put the ISO way down.
Wow. Okay.
Or they had a lot of NDs and had really bright flare lights.
Maybe I'm gonna have to check that up because
That's how I would do it.
It makes sense.
But I'm not Roger Deakins.
But you don't think the flares would
I
have just
also
been
don't have
added in?
Ari Reds to do whatever I want.
Well, they could have added the flares in post.
No.
You don't think?
Roger Deakins doesn't do that shit, but come on.
Well, that's why he won it. There you go, folks.
No, I think in the I watched the behind the scenes. There was a miniature of how he wanted the flares to run, and then they blow that up in the real set. And then they actually had flares. I think they had big cranes having the flares in their exact arc. So that, you know, and obviously they just keyed out all the shit that's not needed. So yeah, that shot was spectacular.
It's spectacular.
The whole film is spectacular. Parasite, yes, deserved winner. I think I said in the video before, out of the best pictures this year, all of them except for Joker, The Irishman, and Ford vs Ferrari were worthy winners. So besides those three, which I think those three have holes in them, Ford vs Ferrari is kind of a blockbuster, so I don't think it can win. It's kind of like a bloke's movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is my favorite movie
Summer
of the
blockbuster.
year, but I don't think it's best picture quality. Best picture is more like an art.
It is. It is.
1917 Parasite do fit the thing. Parasite's more of like a scaled down version of a best picture.
Yep.
It's more of a set related. It feels like a play.
Yep.
Shakespearean. It's quite
very aesthetically pleasing, that film.
It's quite square in the way it's shot.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Beautiful framing.
Beautiful framing. And it's, and the story is very good and compelling. And there's a lot to talk about.
Lots of characters that are very strong and very divided in how different they are.
Just check out our video Parasite on that.
Yep. Make sure you watch it.
Yeah, and you want to talk about your favorite shot of? What's your favorite shot of the year?
Very favorite shot, as in film.
Yeah.
Or are we talking about a specific shot from a film that I was just like, wow, what a
from
scene.
Last year? Like, what's the scene that really grabbed you from these best pictures?
Oh gosh, it's a tough one. I'm gonna say this one because I want to be a little bit stirring with a bit of contra. I liked the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. I just thought, if you read about Charles Manson and the Manson murders and you know about the historical context about what happened, there is nothing more pleasing than seeing the killers that actually did get Sharon Tate in real life. It's good seeing them, well, let's just say, get very soundly beaten by our two fictitious characters that do feature in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood quite heavily. It's a very satisfying finish.
It's so funny.
But let me tell you, it's very funny.
It's so funny.
I never thought a can of dog food hitting someone's skull would be so profound, but it is. It's a beautiful sound. Oh, and some of the cracks of spines.
And being high
and
on whatever it was and chucking it.
Cigarette dipped in acid, I think, was the correct terminology behind that. I mean, and a dog biting into someone's cartilage, and then you've got a flamethrower, which is featured at the very, very opening scene of the movie. It is used again, folks.
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's flamethrower.
It's brilliant. And one of the lines from that film is brilliant. It's like, I think Rick Dalton says, like, gosh, this is hot. Like, can you get it a little cooler? And then the guy just goes,
it's a flamethrower.
Rick, it's a flamethrower. It's not going to be cold. It's a flamethrower. Come on. So that scene for me was just such a pleasing scene. It was another one of Tarantino's alternate history
Apparently,
twists.
Tarantino didn't tell Brad Pitt about being high in that scene.
Oh, really?
His character being high in that scene beforehand. So that's all like...
It's all
from
improvised.
The surprise.
Wow, I love that.
Told that.
I love that.
Before.
And listening to Brad Pitt's speech at the Oscar nights after he won supporting actor as his character as Cliff Booth, I just thought, I really, after watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt really carries that movie.
I wasn't mad at all. I really liked it.
He really carries that movie. And I really like the film. I love the aesthetic of the late 60s. The soundtrack is obviously brilliant, like all Tarantino films are. This film actually is different in it wasn't broken up into chapters like Pulp Fiction was, like Hateful Eight was. Or even like Kill Bill was. It's not broken up into chapters, hence why people say it felt like a bit of a slow burn. People say, the pace of it wasn't as quick as it could have been. But I found it easy to watch.
Yeah.
And I watched it a lot.
And it does go through like that golden time Hollywood setting.
It does.
And you kind of get immersed in that. And it's very, very good to go through that
I
in
agree.
a film that's in 2019.
I know.
That feels like it's from the 70s.
It really does. It's so authentic and nostalgic. And even you look at Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, and they feel like they are actually characters from that time. So they do well.
There's kind of another layer of film there where it's like
It does, yeah.
feels like a film that's shot in the 70s, but we're in 2019, and these are the actors that are in 2019.
Correct.
But it's also in the 50s or whatever, whenever it was.
Exactly. So it was really well done. So I think maybe on that note, it doesn't get a higher amount of
I
credit
think
than
this
it probably
movie
deserves.
will age pretty well with its fandom. or whatever.
I agree.
It'll be like a cult classic.
I bought it for my dad on DVD, and he hasn't stopped watching it. Like, literally, he's addicted to it. You know, he's quoting it every time I see him. I'm like, okay, Dad, I think I might have made a little mistake here with buying this for you. I think I might have to take it back. But it's such a great film. I love that scene at the end. Look, it might be a little bit too brutal for people who have a bit of a weak stomach. My brother personally can't see when, like, he fainted when he, like, dissected a sheep's heart in one of his scientific things at school. So when the scene came up for him, I felt really bad for him because he was starting to faint, and I was like, "Oh no, gosh!" But
He told me about that.
it was a struggle for him. So I had to keep saying, "It's just a film. It's just a film. It's not real blood." But it looked pretty realistic, and it was brutal. Now, Dongy, we've got a lot of lists here of
Let's
films
go
that
through
we
the
think
actors
are
and
good,
actresses.
and I think.
Yeah, we'll go through actors and actresses.
I like this category because I
yeah.
think they got this right. I think we got this right too.
Yeah,
Personally.
except for lead actress
Yeah, we didn't get that right.
and supporting actress. The supporting
Well,
actress.
actually,
was
I
kind
got
of-
that right.
You got that right. I was kind of on the fence.
Or did I say Scarlett? I said Laura or
I
Scarlett.
definitely said Scarlett.
Yeah. I think Laura was in the running, but she did well.
Yeah, I thought Laura would come second, but
Marriage Story, good film by the way.
coin flip.
I liked
yeah.
it. Good dialogue.
And Joaquin Phoenix winning. Is it the only Oscar? No, it's the second Oscar for Joker. The other one being what is it? The one that's music.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I was going to say
yes.
sound design, but it's not sound
It
design. It's soundtrack.
Soundtrack. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix first ever Oscar, right?
I think so.
I think it was.
Which is surprising.
Surprising. I mean, he was good in The Master. He was really good in The Gladiator, but he was supporting actor there. But still, could have been in contention. Of course, Walk the Line. He played Johnny Cash.
And
he's played some good roles.
And I liked his speech.
I thought it was a good speech.
Yeah.
Really well balanced, and it was well written as well.
Yeah,
to be honest.
because it wasn't that typical like I hate you anti-environmentalist. I hate Republicans.
Fuck Trump. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, we're tired of hearing it.
We've heard it all before.
We heard about this for 5 years. He was kind of like calling out Hollywood. Like, you can't judge and lecture the public whilst also going to your private jets to these events. You know?
Exactly. It's like,
And normal people
Yeah.
do not give a shit about what you say to them.
But you know what? This is actually very reminiscent of what Ricky Gervais said at the Golden Globes. He's like, he made an example like Apple, and he's like, Apple, are trying to be all environmentally friendly, yet, there's all these sweatshops that these kids are getting exploited. It's like, you can't come up here and say a statement about how other people should be
Tim
running the
Cook
world
was bloody-
when you're being hypocrites,
Tim Cook was in the... it's just like...
Exactly. The cameras were still rolling. They didn't cut him short.
Yeah.
He's
And-
like, I don't care. I never did. I don't care. So it was reminiscent of that. He spoke about...
with a little bit more pro-environmentalist.
I was going to
He's
say,
I think he's a vegan.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, he spoke about the milk.
Yeah, that stuff,
from
which,
Yaddo.
well, I'm going to go still eat chicken nuggets anyway, so... he's not going to persuade me there.
No.
But
it was a sturdy
I feel
speech,
like
think.
from where he's coming from was a very well-rounded point. I would just continue eating meat.
And another thing was a lot of interviews that he's had, they've been awkward, and a lot of people...
They're trying to get something political out of him, which
they're trying.
I don't think he's trying to be political. I think he's just trying to, be a good example for himself.
He's
I
a
think
very
that's what he
quiet.
wants.
He's a very quiet man. He doesn't like to, obviously come out and do a lot of public, speaking
But he's not
things.
afraid of calling that out.
No,
bullshit,
and it's like, but that's him, And the thing is, he only really talks about his brother River Phoenix when he's around his family, because that's where with his sisters and his mother he feels really comfortable about it. But he made a reference right at the end to one of his quotes about his brother, and I thought that was a real coming out moment for him, I think, because it's something that he doesn't publicly speak about too much, and it must be tough. Obviously, They were both really famous childhood actors. I mean, River was having huge success, and I mean, yeah. It must be hard for him to talk about, but he made a nice little reference at the end. I thought, well done.
Well done to him.
Well done to him. I thought that was nice.
I'm excited to what he does next.
Yeah, so am I.
Joker 2? No.
Well, there's been word. He hasn't ruled it out, has he? He originally did, and then he's kind of like, I might.
I think originally he ruled it out because he knows how these types of movies get sequels.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, but
it could be.
But then now it's like,
if the
script is right.
If the script's right, that's what I mean. It can be tainted, but if the script's right, if Robert Pattinson does a good enough job, then it might work.
Yeah.
It just might work.
Yeah, supporting actor, we touched about that before.
Yep.
I think it's a deserved winner.
Deserved winner.
Okay, let's go to original and adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Adapted screenplay, Jojo Rabbit. I think this is a fair Oscar to take away for Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
I don't think they were in the running to win any of the other categories.
No, definitely not a Best Picture film.
But this does make sense. My other choice was Knives Out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Knives Out. I think had a really good whodunit premise. I thought that was good. Smart.
And that is one of those movies that feels like it's an older movie.
It does. Yeah,
Jojo
really good
Rabbit,
timepiece.
I think as well. I think Jojo Rabbit's filmed in a different aspect ratio.
Yeah. It didn't seem like your usual...
It might be 4:3. I'm not sure. I need to check up on it. But
no, I agree. It doesn't
feel like your normal widescreen kind of film. Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit wasn't... Oh, so it's adapted screenplay. Because I was going to say, it didn't seem like an original. Yeah, it was a book. That's right. Yeah. But they did well.
Which
didn't
really have
well.
Hitler in it.
Oh, really?
Didn't have an imaginary
And
Hitler.
certainly wouldn't have been played by a Maori.
Polynesian from
New Zealand. Yeah, exactly. I thought that was really well done. Huh?
Korg was in it. From Thor Ragnarok.
Oh! It's very well done. It's very well done. Yeah, and it's a really funny film. I thought
it's more heartfelt than I thought it would be.
Same, and I thought Rebel Wilson actually played a really good role.
Rebel Wilson played herself, but in a German accent,
in a pretty poor German accent, but she did well.
But I think that's the whole point.
I think they're playing on that
because I think at this time of the war, everyone who's left is incompetent.
But I feel like I've met a lot of Germans like the character that she plays in that film, and I feel like there's a lot in kind of, I don't know, pop culture that are like that. So I thought,
I think I say this with the utmost respect. They're like spastics, right?
the trainers,
Rebel Wilson type characters.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they're like a bunch of spastics.
Yeah,
I mean that in the best possible way.
Might not be the most politically correct thing you could say, but yeah, sure.
No, they're just clumsy.
Yeah.
Clumsy. They're there but not quite there. Yeah. They're trying to do their best. That's what I mean.
It makes sense. But no, I thought
original screenplay.
I thought good. Yeah.
Parasite.
Parasite. Yeah.
Everyone's best picture.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Took out a lot of awards, but this was a good one. I mean, as an original screenplay, fantastic idea.
Yeah. And also on foreign language feature, which is a given. I mean,
did very well.
I mean, could you imagine the scenes if it didn't win foreign feature? Now,
I will say, when we were speaking about our categories last time, there was one actor I did not know really that well. I mean, he was in Golden. He was in one of the James Bond films, and he played a really good role in Two Popes.
Which one?
So you obviously had the great man who is from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, it's not Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, but Jonathan Pryce, I think, deserved a lot of credit for his role as.
He plays an asshole, doesn't he? No.
Anthony Hopkins
Anthony Hopkins plays the asshole.
I wouldn't call him a full asshole, but I'd call him,
standoffish.
Yes, standoffish. A little stubborn, a little colder than what I would have thought the Pope to be. But Jonathan Pryce's character is extraordinary, and he speaks like fully Argentinian. So what's that?
Spanish.
So yeah, it's a great effort. It's a really good role, I think, and he really, I think,
We
gets the
don't get that
similarities. He gets the
We
similarities.
apologize if
with
we don't
Bob
get that right.
Yeah. He plays the similarities really well. But yeah, Jonathan Pryce, I thought, he was nominated for Best Actor, and I was kind of like, I haven't seen Two Popes, so I really need to see it before I make a judgment. And it's about the two popes. It's about the Argentinian Pope. And it's about the German Pope before him, and the kind of the conflict that there is, and the kind of corruptness that's happening.
I need to watch
all
that
over the
film.
surface. It's a good film, actually.
Yeah. You've seen it?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It's on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix,
Yeah.
but I quite liked it.
I think it's a Netflix thing film.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is similar to The Irishman.
I just haven't watched Irishman yet because I haven't booked out.
You don't have a 3-hour slot.
3.5 hour slot. Exactly.
And it's like it's going to be longer than that because you will need toilet breaks and you will
Yeah.
need to eat during that film.
I
100%.
get hungry by the time the movie ends,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. It's a
last
slow
few
burn.
big
That film.
categories. I think cinematography and film editing,
Yes.
production
yes.
design.
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay.
Kind of what we
Right.
expected.
Yeah, we touched on
Yeah.
cinematography. Roger Deakins
Yep.
deserved the winner. I mean, yeah, this is his second win out of like 15 as well.
And you said you really liked the editing in Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, amazing. Oh
Yeah.
my god, because
Yeah,
because I know nothing about cars. Now I want to go to the Formula One.
So they did well.
Yeah,
Film
and they
editing.
make you like understand what it takes.
You're in the interior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're also in the outside at the same time.
That's cool.
And you get this. There's a natural flow to the scene.
That's
Doesn't
beautiful.
feel like we're seeing this part, and then we're seeing that part,
Hey.
and then we're seeing that part, which happened before this,
Mm.
but not after that. you know
I
how
agree.
editing does that. It feels like a one flowing motion with the editing,
That's beautiful.
which is hard to do, especially when you got cars involved, because you gotta film
It's
basically
going quick.
every time a car shot is thing. You gotta film it twice. Once where the camera's pointing into the car, so there's all these cameras pointing in the car,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and one
Kind
where
of all mounted
and where
on.
the camera is like
Yeah.
shooting the car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And getting
All
that
those tracking
together.
shots.
Yeah, getting that together, keeping that on track. Production designer deserves a raise.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, not production designer, the production assistant,
Mhm.
whoever does the
Yeah.
the writing the down on the sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give them a pat on the back.
yeah. And production design once upon a time in Hollywood to make modern Hollywood look like the Hollywood in the 50s or the 40s. I don't know when it was.
Late 60s.
Late 60s. Okay.
1969.
Yeah. To make it look like that.
But there were parts of it, I think, that were like maybe early 60s because they were trying to mimic a certain time, when...
Or the saturated
when
tones.
Rick Dalton's career started out, and then they show mid 70s in Italian spaghetti westerns and that kind of stuff. So yeah, they really capture the
It's
time.
quite reminiscent of
very
that
well.
time of cinema where it's
Yep.
a bit, you got that weird frame rate happening,
Yeah.
you got like the staggered movements, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels very reminiscent of that time, depicting the time before that.
Correct. Correct. And it's just such a beautifully shot film. I love it.
With the costumes as well.
I love the costumes. Oh my god. And the soundtrack. Please. It's fantastic.
All right.
However, I could never picture Roman Polanski wearing a Austin Powers outfit. That's the one that kind of disturbs me a little bit.
No.
But I suppose it's the time, He looked like another member of ABBA.
It was a different time.
But let me tell you this, they got Mama Cass right.
Yeah.
She larger than life character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Rocking it.
So yeah.
It was a
You wanna
good
sign off on anything?
It was a good. I think these. I like you. I sat through the Oscars. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. Steve Martin, Chris Rock. You wouldn't think they're a duo that you'd put together, but they were really funny and they had plenty of great jokes. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the ceremony.
I
It
liked
was
Will
great.
Ferrell's bit as well.
Yeah,
The
he's
cinematographer.
he's gold.
He's
Yeah.
describing a PA. It's just,
All the different ones, what they do.
it's just like, wait, did they do this? It's funny.
It was really well done. I thought maybe Renee Zellweger's speech went for a little long. I don't know.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
kind of felt like that was
I
a little
think
long.
it was right after Joaquin Phoenix's one, and she's like, oh shit, I'm gonna make mine really long and really good.
Yeah,
and then she just kept on
exactly.
going.
She just kept
And then all
on
my friends were
going
like,
and going.
all my friends were like, all right, she needs to wrap this
I
up.
was just sitting there going, okay, Renee, you need to just calm down.
She
Just-
really wasn't.
and then, you know, she sounds like the character.
She's
from
not
Dude,
even
Where's
like-
My Car? And then.
She's not even saying anything political as well. Which, if she did, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're listening. You have our attention.
Yeah, okay.
But it was
You're talking about politics,
Yeah.
but she was just literally thanking people,
thanking people.
literally
and-
from her
Yeah.
her cake baker or something.
'Cause she's won
everybody-
several Oscars, hasn't she?
Yeah.
This isn't her first one.
I
but
like,
it's like you've done it before, girl. Come on.
I'm like, yeah. I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix's was longer, but this definitely feels longer than Joaquin Phoenix's.
It definitely felt longer. I was just less engaged. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, check my phone.
But anyway, she'll have another opportunity next time she wins one.
What other films do you think needed to be part of the Oscars?
Well, I heard from a lot of people that Peanut Butter Falcon was a good
I've
film.
not heard about that film.
That kind of shows, I think, the life and the relationship of his name escapes me. The guy that goes, just do it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh,
It's a
is
bit
this
about
the
him.
movie he did?
This is the movie he did.
Oh, I did hear whispers that he would possibly be nominated.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And
I heard
he
it was a-
presented with the kid that he stars with,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Yeah.
The kid was adorable.
Yeah, it was
The
a
kid
great moment.
Really, really beautiful moment. Actually, one of
Yeah.
the highlights of the night, I think. So yeah, apparently that one was meant to be. Was it Dolomite is my
Dolomite
name.
is my name.
That
I
was
haven't watched
apparently
that
okay. I thought Uncut Gems was really good.
I liked Uncut Gems.
I liked it. I didn't think it was.
I might have liked the credit sequence more than the actual movie.
Oh, yeah, it was
because
awesome.
because of the
Oh,
because not because the movie ended. It's because the song that played.
Oh right, 'cause I was going to say it was reminiscent of like Fight Club, you know,
Yeah.
the whole, you know, the different nerves and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Apparently, Uncut Gems they used like super long lenses. So like
right.
all the camera people were like on the other side of the room, and Adam Sandler's just like, all right, we're rolling.
Yeah, I could barely hear you over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, but I thought Adam Sandler played a good role,
It
but
was such an uncomfortable film.
it was very uncomfortable. Yeah. You just never really felt at ease about anything that was happening, and it's kind of like, yeah, you know, this person you've given this gem to like this untrustworthy basketball player, and then he's lost it, and it's went to all these other dealers, and yeah, it was a tough film
And
to watch.
miscommunication at its finest.
Oh, at its absolute best.
Yeah.
Don't trust someone with a gem, particularly if it's uncut.
You got 1 million, like how many millions?
It was a few million. It's a few
million, just a few,
Yeah,
just
it
enough.
felt like it. And then he made this amazing bet that he got everything right, and then they didn't even place the bet. I was like,
Yeah.
that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we'll wrap this up. It was quite a good year for film, in
It
my
was.
opinion.
It was.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I'm
amazing.
excited to see what happens this year. No
Yeah.
more super. Well,
Black Widow.
I was going to say no more
Mulan.
superhero, but
I was going to say
meant
female
an-
superheroes
An
now.
era of superhero films has ended.
I think so.
So let's see what happens next.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing No Time to Die in November now
Yeah.
instead of April.